my name's Teri Wagner. I'm the Director of Treasury Services at First Fidelity Bank. We're about a $3 billion community bank based out of Oklahoma City. We have our footprint in Oklahoma, Arizona, and Colorado. I've spent my entire career in large national and multinational banks, and so this is my first entree into a community bank. And community banks operate much different because they are so much smaller. But I think it's great because it allows you to be agile and pivot with technology a lot quicker than a lot of the large banks. I also feel that smaller banks are more open to partnering with fintechs because you don't have the resources and the budgets to build it internally like big banks do. We actually had primarily all of our treasury management solutions with our core provider. And what we've realized is that in time, the core providers are really good at the foundation of their business. However, we found that their technology was just not keeping up with what our demands were of our customers, especially on the business side. So we saw primarily business banking customers or smaller middle market customers were asking for a lot more technology where they wouldn't have really in the past. And so we knew we had to make a change and really partner with someone else that could keep up with that technology need. We converted in Q1 of last year, so we're on our first full year of being on the Alkami platform. It's really been a game changer for our clients. The visibility, the intuitiveness of the platform, and then being able to see, how a payment flows, see the action items on their dashboard, and really manage their cash flow in a much more simplistic way that makes sense for, I would say, the treasurer mind, where in the past, our platform was a little clunky and it didn't always make sense from a flow perspective of, this is how I need to perform an ACH or a wire transfer, and then those steps make sense all the way from the beginning to the end. Things like self-administration for users and the ability to do limits, add additional users, really, control what people have access to. That was a big item for us with our former provider, is that all of that had to be done at the bank. So you have a sales team that is now managing users for a customer, and that takes them out of time that they could be spending with customers. And so that was a huge one for us, of really that self-administration module, the audit reports that you can pull for users, and just that control and allowing customers to do it, because we know they want that control. They don't want to, come to the bank and wait 10 minutes or a day to get it done. We were able to convert all of our customers over. We saw minimal attrition of customers leaving because they saw the value in the platform that they were going to be getting. But we were actually able to grow our customer base on the platform by 13% last year. So during a conversion, to be able to convert everybody with minimal loss and then also grow it by almost 15% was huge for us. And so we're seeing year-over-year growth, in the 20s, 30%, which is fantastic because we just weren't able to attract those customers prior. We saw the sales team be able to actually be out having more strategic conversations. We also saw them allowing them to be able to lead with treasury management instead of leading with credit, which was typically our culture. In addition to that, they were really able to move further upstream into more middle market sized customers because we did have a platform that could compete with big banks. We had a prospect where, we had been talking to them for years and they were with another community bank, but ultimately, they just didn't see the value in what we were bringing prior to moving to Alkami because the platforms were similar, pretty stagnant, right? Did the job, but nothing exciting. And so we were able to go out, and this was actually even before we converted. We had a demo platform that was created, and we went out and showed them the demo of what it would look like if they converted to us. And they were blown away. And so they loved the platform. We were able to win that deal. It came with about $20 million in new balances and about $50,000 in treasury management revenue, which is a very good size deal for a bank our size. And so it was very exciting. I think it also helped show that we could win with treasury and we could win with the platform. So we've seen a lot less resistance from our commercial banking team to go out and talk about treasury first versus always leading the credit. One of the things that Alkami really showed was the ability to integrate with additional fintechs. Like, we know there's going to be more customer demand for payments, for technology, for different integrations with ERPs, things like that. And Alkami, has strategic partnerships that we can leverage where we don't have to find those, and we know they already work. Really, the quarterly roadmap initiatives that Alkami does has been huge because, we provide feedback through the community page, through, the different teams that we work with, but we see those changes actually come to fruition in those updates. And so I'm really excited because there's a lot of things coming in 2025 that are things that, we want, our customers want. And so I think, when all of those things actually do happen by the end of the year, it'll be a huge difference for our team. Like any conversion, right? Like it's not going to be perfect. And I would say it's almost like a construction project where you double your budget, double your timeline, just so you can set your expectations right. Knowing everybody has a budget, I would say just be as organized and diligent as you can about creating a very specific project plan with action items that both sides agree to, with owners and deadlines and things like that, to keep people accountable. And then I would also say, for smaller banks specifically, is making sure that you're communicating internally. I would really say that it is a game changer for our business and how we foresee our expected growth for this year. It makes all the difference.